It may be the world according to Gayle, but she always loves hearing from you at 888-4-GAYLE-K.
Welcome back to the Gayle King Show. I'm your host, Tina Fey. I wrote the New York Times bestseller Bossy Pants. I just wrapped the 5th season of my award-winning show 30 Rock, and I hosted Saturday Night Live last week for the 3rd time. I've already taken over NBC, and now I'm taking over OWN, starting with the Gayle King Show. Here to talk about me is Gayle King.
I always heard you were a greedy bitch, so it's only appropriate. Go ahead. Welcome, Tina Fey. I am so happy to see you. Listen, and now we add the title of author to your title.
Sure.
Of Bossy Pants. I have to tell you, I was up reading it. I read it cover to cover.
Thank you for reading it.
No, I really did. Listen, because I don't just phone it in when you're coming in. I pull out all the stops. And this is what got me about you. You said you grew up as the whitest girl in the Greek neighborhood, and then you go to UVA and they think you're Mexican or something. And I thought
yeah, I went to Virginia, and everyone's so
everybody has
really
blonde
white
hair
down there.
Blonde, or as you say, what you're teaching your favorite daughter Alice is that it's yellow hair.
Yellow hair.
Because you don't want her to think that blonde hair is necessarily better.
Because my hair's brown. There's no magical word for brown.
Mine too.
Yeah, yellow. It's yellow.
And yellow is okay.
Sure.
So did you grow up thinking you were a funny kid?
I think at a certain point I knew I wanted to be a funny kid. You know, I think around middle school you start to think of what's my move here, what's my survival move, and I knew that I wanted to be funny, but I don't know that you ever, at that age, are ever successfully funny.
Yeah, but there was something that you knew about yourself. You talk about growing up, you had 2 gay friends. You had a couple of gay friends. Yeah, you had a couple of gay friends. And so you found that at one point you said, I realized I was using my gay friends as props. And as I was navigating myself through life. And you realize that there's a sense of humor that comes with that.
Yes, I mean, I talk in the book about my experiences at doing, summer theater in my hometown, and it just was first of all, to meet so many gay people, male and female, and it was just a delightful and eye-opening experience. But I talk in the book about how we kind of have this relationship with the gay community where we want them to be around, to be funny and be fun, and then kind of not let them get married. And it's like, no, it's like it's all or nothing.
It's like, what does that say about you? You talk about your dating experiences, and this is what I really like, Tina, because you talk about going out with a guy who said, boy, you really eat a lot. Somebody said that to me, Tina, and he never asked me out again. I'm thinking, I wasn't going to be one of those girls that just picked with the salad and acted like I wasn't hungry.
I thought it was a compliment in the moment. It's like, well, you can really eat a lot.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what I said too. He goes, I've never been out with someone that wanted to eat so much. And I'm thinking, is he insulting me right now, or is this a compliment?
I took it as a compliment, and I continue to this day.
I do as well. But for a lot of people, and this surprised me about you when you said, for the first time when you started playing Sarah Palin on Saturday Night Live. Number one, let me just give you a special mommy hug about that. I had no idea, because Oprah did 30 Rock.
That day.
That day. I had no idea.
Were there?
Yes, I came. Number one, because I'm a big fan of the show, because I said, I want to go to that taping. The show is so great. Tina's so great. I want to go. But I had no idea on that day that we were there that, that was the first time you're doing Sarah Palin that night.
Yes.
The first time that Oprah was there. And it was Alice's birthday the next day.
And I stole Oprah's edible arrangement from her dressing room and served it at the birthday party.
To the party. No, but Tina, I'm not kidding. I'm thinking you must have had I'm now going to be stealing this word, not crediting you, a blorfed moment.
Yes.
That's Tina Fey's word, blorfed. Say it for me,
blorfed.
Please. Yes. What does that mean?
That's a made-up word that just means that feeling of I am in this moment completely overwhelmed.
Yes.
But proceeding as if everything's fine.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of working parents have that blorfed feeling.
I know,
all the
but
time.
Tina, I had no idea. I don't know how you could have been so sane that day. Number one, it's stressful enough to have, because I think it was Alice's 3rd birthday. So they're very aware at 3. It's my birthday.
Yep.
I want to have a blah, 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 blah. And then to have Oprah on the show. And then to do Sarah Palin.
It was good in a way.
For the first time.
Yeah, it was good in a way that I couldn't get too nervous about any of the 3 things, because it was just moment to moment. And I do think that Saturday Night Live is great crisis management training, because there's always this crazy clock running down, and you just kind of have to be still in the eye of the storm and go, okay, so what are we... So the host is drunk. Okay, what are we doing? No, that's never happened.
No, but that's the thing I love about live TV, though. All kidding aside, don't you like? I like the feeling of live, Tina, that anything can happen.
Yep.
And it's like working without a net, and no matter what happens, happens.
Yes, and it's
You feel that
sometimes
too?
more exciting when things go wrong a little bit on live TV. No, I'm not gonna.
No, but I so agree.
Yeah.
And whenever you're taping something, they'll say, "Oh, could you do that over again?" When if you're live, whatever happens, happens. I love that feeling.
Yep.
So here's Sarah Palin. You do it that first night, and it's knockout.
Thank you.
It totally takes off, as you know. Did you think you looked like her when you first saw Sarah Palin? Did you think it?
My husband thought so when we first saw her. I thought
That
it
would
was
be
just in
Jeff Richmond.
Jeff Richmond,
who's written the music to 30 Rock, which
Yes.
is killer. Dun, dun, dun. It ends right on time. Go ahead.
17 seconds of pure delight.
It is.
He thought
Jeff
I
saw it first?
He saw her on the news first, and he said, "Yeah." And I sort of thought it was just a very vague, brown hair, glasses kind of thing. And have you seen pictures of Julianne
Yes,
Moore?
we talked about that. She
really
looks like
that
it too.
jaw. She has the strong jawline and much more similar nose. I think she looks fantastic.
I don't know, Tina. I didn't think anybody could. I have to see when she speaks. I don't think anybody can do what you did.
Well, thank you.
But that first night, so Jeff saw it first.
Yes, and he said, "Yeah, I think that you
I think
might
you
have to
kinda
do this."
do.
Yeah. And then it dragged on. We're talking about the book. It dragged on to the last possible second as to whether I was actually going to do it.
Because you had even said to Lauren, "Tell him I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." And then Thursday or something.
Right, because Saturday Night Live, everything goes to the last minute. I called on Wednesday and said, if it comes up, I don't think I should do it. And they never called me back. And then Thursday evening, Lauren called, I think, and said, "Why don't you just come? Seth wrote a piece and just try it. Just try it." It's like, like a tricky frat boy luring you into the frat house. Like, just come over. It's going to be fine.
Well, there's difference between the frat boys and the Harvard boys, as you talk about when it comes to writing, comes to writing comedy. So he goes, "Just try it. Of course, it's knockout. Everybody loves it." And then even your mom said, and then you continued with it. Which
Yes.
It got to the point where I said, "God, I hope Tina's on again this Saturday. I hope Tina's on again." I wasn't the only one. So then it got to the point that even your mom said, "Okay, Tina." What did she say to you?
Well, my parents are Republicans.
Yes,
and
I
very
heard.
reasonable Republicans, and they really enjoyed it the first few weeks. And I think it was, the whole thing happened over 8 weeks, and
Yes.
it felt so compressed and sped up the whole experience. And I think it was around week 6 or so where I did the sketch with Will Ferrell, played George Bush. We did a primetime special,
Yes.
and Daryl Hammond played John McCain.
I remember that.
And it was all about them trying to avoid George Bush's endorsement. And it was
Yes.
a pretty funny sketch.
I remember,
And,
yes.
And that was one that my mom was like, "All right, this is just enough already. It's getting to be too much."
You've gone too far.
They didn't like it anymore after that.
And what did you say, okay, maybe, did you ever think it went too far? Did you ever think that?
Comedically, no. I didn't think it ever was inappropriate or anything. No. But there are definitely people who do not like me because of it, and that will,
No, and that's what you
continue
said, that you really
forever.
you really got some really nasty mail from
Yeah.
people. But I thought you made a really good point. And may I mention the title, Bossy Pants? You made a really good point when you said nobody ever criticized Dan Aykroyd, nobody criticized Dana Carvey, Chevy Chase when they were doing those unflattering, and then all of a sudden you do it, and it's like,
Yeah, I really do think there was something, because it was women, that there was an assumption that it was mean-spirited. And
Yes.
it wasn't.
And I thought, no, it was just funny. So now we fast forward to 30 Rock, which I have to say, I think it's so smart and so well done. And I really didn't pay attention to the numbers of 30 Rock, to be honest with you. Clearly you guys did, and clearly the numbers were not so good. But you guys were working so hard.
Yes, we have always been referred to as ratings challenged. I think we should just officially add that into the title those first couple seasons, and just so people could just hit like Apple F and it would print ratings challenged.
Yeah. But you talk about how hard you worked and how they would come to your house. The writers would come to your house.
We would stay up. We would work. That first season, the writers would write all day while I was shooting all day, because we film the show, and so it takes 12, 13 hours a day, and then we would meet up at my apartment in the evening and go over stuff. And sometimes we would be there till 1, 2 in the morning, and then the whole day starts over again at 6 in the morning. And at the time, Alice was only about a year old, and so I would still be writing and get up in the night to, she would get up
to breastfeed,
to change a diaper. Oh, not breastfeed by then, Gayle. No, not by then.
Well, what was so sweet about that? You said at that time I was surrounded by all the things I loved and people I loved so much. Let's take a look at 30 Rock.
Here's your article. Why does TGS hate women?
What? How can they say that? We love women. With Tracy gone, our last episode was all Jenna.
This is Amelia Earhart. I'm almost across the Pacific. Oh no, my period! I'll now take questions. Oh no, my period. Let's nuke England!
But that is an ironic reappropriation. I don't know anymore. And this started as a show for women starring women. At the very least, we should be elevating the way women are perceived in society. And, oh, my period. You're all fired.
You know why I think that's so funny? Because nobody told me about my period. And when it happened, honest to God, I thought I was dying.
Yes.
Because you write about it in your book. Nobody told me.
Yep.
My mother was away, and I go to my grandmother. I said, you know, something's wrong. She goes, well, wait till your mother gets home. Wait till my mother gets home. What is this brown stuff? Because they don't
if my
tell
arm
you.
was bleeding, you would take me to a doctor.
Yes, they don't tell you,
Yeah.
and you talk about that too in your book.
I thought from commercials that it was supposed to be blue.
Yes. Yes. And then we get older and we get wiser, and it's
Yeah.
clearly not so blue.
Not so blue.
Now, I had a crack-up moment in your book. You talk about baby Alice being born, which
Yes.
I love so much, and you said, just for the record, an epidural, vaginal delivery, and no poop on the table.
Yes.
Why I thought that was funny, because I had vaginal delivery and poop on the table. And let me
did.
tell you, it is so hard to be in pain and humiliated at the same time. Where you say to the doctor, what happened? Think what happened? Because I smell something kind of funny. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Nobody tells you, Tina, that that is possible, but it happens a lot.
I had heard that was possible.
Yes.
I had with my first delivery, I had a weird thing where in early labor, I was having contractions, and I said, labor at home as long as you can. And then I got some hormonal thing where in between contractions, I basically felt like I had food poisoning. So I was getting that done at home between contractions, and even as uncomfortable as that was at the time, I was like, well, at least I won't go on the table.
I know. No, really, it is a very humiliating thing, but you're in so much pain you don't care. And congratulations, second baby.
Thank you.
Did you deliberately plan to announce it on Oprah, or did it just happen that way?
Well, I was starting this book tour,
Yes.
and I just sort of knew that I had been hidden it the whole last couple months of the shoot of 30 Rock, and I was damn, I really couldn't hide it anymore. So I thought, well,
Oprah's a good enough place
yes,
as any.
why not tell Oprah?
But what's so great about Bossy Pants is it ends with you saying, should I have a second baby? Should I not have a second baby? I don't know whether to have a second baby. In the end, everything will be fine. Do you know if the baby's... You know I'm hoping for a boy because you already have favorite daughter, Alice.
That's yes.
That's what... Do you know?
I know, yes.
Would you care to share?
I think I should. I don't think I have family.
Go ahead, Tina.
I don't have
Does it
family
start with a
permission
G or a
to
B?
share. I don't have
But we know that there's a baby and the baby's
Yes.
coming. It's either going to be a boy or a girl.
Yes.
How about this? Do you have a preference?
Well, I've never had a boy. I've loved having a girl.
Yes.
So as we say, I think we'll be fine. I will say though, I did want to say that so many people came up to me about that parts of the book about talking about being a parent of an only child in New York and feeling that it was not the norm, and so many people came up to me and say like, I'm so grateful that you wrote about that, and I was like, you're well, and I just hope that no one feels like I bailed on them.
No, I understand.
Because I do think it is completely great to also have just one.
It's completely an individual decision, and for some people, an only child is best. But you say in the book, in the end, everything will be fine, and if you disagree, tell me through the cracks of the bathroom, which is also my pet peeve. When you're in the bathroom, that people can see you through that hole, through that little
Gayle,
strip. Yes.
I'm sorry to bother you, Gayle.
I know.
But
No, or you
also
come out and
you're
say, could I get a picture when you're done? And
Yeah.
you're kind of like, yeah, sure. Have people come to talk to you through the crack?
In the bathroom, not necessarily the crack. I was once in the stirrups. And a lady was asking me about, improv and stuff while I was in the stirrups. A lady. It was the doctor. It wasn't it. The person who came in the room.
Did you have any advice, Miss Bossy Pants? I always find it's great to have a conversation in the stirrups.
Stirrups. Because you're always at your best.
Yes. Thank you, Tina Fey.
Thank you, Gayle.
Continued success, whether it's a boy or a girl. And may I say, Gayle is a unisex name. Do with it what
That's
you
true.
will. Gayle Richmond. I like it. Go get Bossy Pants. Thank you, Tina Fey.
Thanks, Gayle.
Thank you. Gayle Richmond.
Gayle Richmond.
Gayle Zenobia
If it's a boy,
Richmond.
it'll be, yeah,
Galen.